Matthew chapter 12 and verse 25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash, for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. It's going to be a quick lesson. You know, the title of this video is Baba Edomite America, right? Because deep down, these devils, they know this is the end of their queendom, man, right? They feel it. You know, the scriptures tell you in Job that, you know, he shall not feel quietness in his belly. That was speaking about the elites, but it trickles on down to all these Edomites, man. That they have these real unsettling feelings in their minds and through their bodies, man. Don't let these devils fool you into thinking that, you know, they don't worry and they're not thinking about nothing because they come out with a smile on their face, or they may have money, right? They may be doing good in society or whatever. All these devils, they all afraid, man, because this truth is being pushed out, right? The earth is rising up against Esau, right? The heavens is revealing the iniquity, you know, of these devils. I'm trying to get out of the, you know, uh the habit of saying, you know, these devils' names and all that, you know, and just call them devils. But it's a spirit. But yeah, man. These devils are on their way out and they know it. So let's play this. This devil, he got something to say, man. Check it out. Yahba Shem Al Shah willing, the leg be edified. Shalom.
This is who we've always been. The problem is that white people have their heads up their asses still. Too many of you still just don't want to accept what this is. So let me give you a history lesson of what this shithole country is. And if you don't like that, then you can ship your ass back to England with your head up your ass, because you don't actually want to hear the history of America. So let me tell you what this country is. When we as white people were too lazy to do our own jobs, we stole black people from Africa on the Middle Passage. 1.2.
And they didn't steal black people from Africa. They stole Israelites from Africa. They brought Israelites over here on cargo slave ships and had them as slaves from back then to this very day.
Million died. Sharks would follow the boats, waiting for the bodies. Then we kept them as fucking animals, beat them, whipped them, put them in trees, fed them to fucking alligators, burnt down their Wall Street. Then we put Asians in internment camps. Women couldn't even fucking vote or have rights or credit or no-fault divorce until the 80s. 1860s, the Supreme Court said black people weren't even citizens. And part of this country...
And that's still today. They consider so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans 3/5 of a human being, man. Right? So these devils, they ain't nothing changed with them. They still feel the same way about you today as they did when they brought your ass over here on slave ships, man. Nothing has changed. These devils don't change.
Doesn't want to fucking hear that. I'm a patriot. You're a piece of shit, is what you are. You're not a fucking patriot. You're a nationalist. You don't want to actually talk about American history. You want to talk about white history. which is why you don't want slavery in the Smithsonian, because it offends your version of American exceptionalism. We are a shithole country. We're not even the greatest country in North America. And once again, if you don't like it, ship your ass back to England. You don't have to announce your departure. Deport yourself. Go back to where you came from, because this isn't your fucking land. It belonged to the Native Americans until we shit on it. And then Andrew Jackson, may he rot in hell, made over 300 treaties with the 5 tribes. And he ignored all of them through the Trail of Tears, and we forced them to walk, and 16,000 died. But hey, don't you dare criticize this country, white man. If you don't like it, you can leave. America's the best of the best of the best. Y'all have fucking concepts of brains like you have concepts of what history is. This country has been a shitty country for everybody that doesn't look like me. And now what you're seeing with a podcaster, even though 47,000 people died from gun violence, the white people finally got a fraction of an inch of what a black person has dealt with since the fucking beginning of this experiment. And now you guys, oh, the rapture is coming. Oh, put Charlie's name's Kirk on a Starbucks. Oh my God, cancel Starbucks. Oh, this is the great awakening. Jesus is coming. He spoke to me. Jesus didn't speak to you after Ahmaud Arbery was chased down by 3 white supremacists? U.S. citizens, by the way. God didn't speak to you then? How about Uvalde?
And the Lord doesn't give a damn about Charlie Kirk, man. Charlie Kirk come from a nation that the Most High hate. Right? Which are these devils, man? And here you got this devil right here, and a lot like him, that know the truth, that know the history. So, like I always said, man, these devils walking around, these everyday, every day you see devils walk around, man. They know what's up. They know what you went through. They know what you're going through, right? But they're devils, man, and they're gonna continue to lie to you because that's how the Lord made them. This is Ecclesiastes 7:13. Consider the work of the Most High Yahweh Shem El Shah. For who can make that straight which he have made crooked, man? Yeah, they're crooked in spirit. They're crooked, man. They'll tell you lies. They'll sell you dreams, right? They'll be deceitful. All that, man. Because this is how the Lord made them. This is how the Lord made the nation of Edom, man. Right? What you know today as so-called white people. This is how the Lord made them.
When the cops sat on their asses for an hour and watched children just fucking get murdered, God didn't speak to you then? How about 2 weeks before the podcaster? 6-year-olds were gunned down in a church, praying with Bibles and 10 Commandments on the wall. God didn't speak to you then? Oh, all of a sudden you want to weaponize the name of God because your white privilege got shit on. And even when you hear this, your little fucking fragile brains can't even handle the truth because you're so fucking racist. That's what this is about. It's not about taxes or tips or making your life better or universal health care or bringing the price of your housing down. They haven't done shit in this Klan administration. Not a goddamn thing, except for sit on his fat ass in Gulf and rename the Gulf of Mexico and shit on non-white people. And you're like, yeah, praise Jesus. Woo, praise Jesus. Yeah, America first. And your dumbasses don't even realize that the U.S. dollar has gone down by 17%. That all your trade partners are not using us anymore. And then at some point, when the debt is cashed in from Canada and China and Japan, they're going to cash it in and the dollar's going to tank. But at least to own the libs, America first, America first. You don't even take care of America first. 36.8 million people live in poverty. 14 million kids go to school hungry. 46,000 people die every year for gun violence. Not a fucking thing from you pro-life people. But Charlie Kirk, a podcaster, oh, it's the Great Awakening. You are what's wrong with this country. You're selfish. You're racist. You're white supremacist. You're misogynist. You voted for a clan leader that is an adjudicated rapist. He fucking raped women, and you're like, hey, no one's perfect. Would you vote for Hitler? Hey, no one's perfect. I like his tax plan. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein's done some bad.
And we had we was at camp this weekend that just passed, and we had these three young Jakes that was up there raccooning for the devil. And everything they was saying, we already knew where they was going. But like we always say, there are gonna be some devils out here who are against what's going on, who are against what their fellow people are doing. They're gonna be against it. But guess what? Yahweh Shem Shah, he judges by nations, man. Because when the Israelites went in slavery, not just some of the Israelites went in slavery, all of the Israelites went in slavery. The men that followed the Lord, they went through tribulation under the hand of rulerships they were under at the time. You know, Joseph, Daniel, Paul, Yahushua, right? So when our people come with that rhetoric, and they come on that in that angle, it don't mean nothing, man. These devils as a whole, they have to pay. They have to pay regardless of how they feel. They could be against it. They could be all for so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. They could be trying to, tell their people the truth or what have you. The Lord still has a judgment set for the nation of Edom, man. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Right? Because what they did can't go, untouched. The Lord said that he was going to touch the nation of Edom because they're guilty just by association. They're over here. Everywhere they dwell at, and they have, white, so-called white privilege, and are able to live an easier life, is due to what their forefathers did, man. Right? And the only reason a lot of these so-called white people are coming out now is because their lives are being completely taken away from them right in front of them, man. Right? It's not like the 30s and the 40s, 50s, 60s, and the 70s with Esau, Edom, man. They feeling like niggas now. So, they're lashing out. But this is Isaiah 27:11. When the bows thereof are withered, they shall be broken. Right? Their protection. It says, the women come and set them on fire. Yeah, these other nations, man. Because it's going to be a war. It says, for it is a people of no understanding. Therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them. And who made the nation of Edom? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And he's not going to have mercy. Why? Because he did not show mercy to his brother, a.k.a. Jacob, a.k.a. the Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans. He did not show mercy, so he's not going to get mercy. It says, therefore, he that made them will not have mercy on them, and he that formed them will show them no favor. You're not going to have no favor, man. Right? You're not going to have any favor because the whole world knows how you are, man, and what you've done. This is Job chapter 21, verse 29. Have ye not asked them that go by the way, and do ye not know their tokens? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction, and they shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. And that's all these devils are literally waiting for. They don't see it, right? They don't see it, man. It says, who shall declare his way to his face, and who shall repay him what he have done? The Lord is going to repay him, man. Right? The Lord is going to repay them for what they've done, what they're doing, and what they seek to do. Right? This is Psalms chapter 10 and verse 4. It says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. Because these devils, you know, they have money, they have the earth, right? They have rulership. So they feel like what they need the Most High for, man. This is how Esau was back then, when he so-called, you know, sold his birthright, which he, you know, which he so-called, it was tricked out of his birthright, which he sold it, which that was the way the Lord set it up. It was supposed to go to Jacob, right? So the Lord can do what he want, man, right? Esau Edom is hurt, man, because he's been ruling for hundreds of years. But now, being that he sees it falling, now those hundreds of years that he's ruled don't mean a damn thing, man. We may think in our time that it's long. It's a long time that he's been under rulership and we've been suffering oppression, but it ain't been that long in the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. So now this devil is coming to an end and he's upset. Psalms 10 and 5. It says, his ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. Right? He can't see it. The Lord put blockers on this devil for him to see that his judgment is right there at the door. This is why he just continues with his evil. He continues to push his agendas. He continues to do what he do, man. Right? That's how these devils, this is what the Lord got on these devils, man. He has derision on them. He got them in the trick bag. Right? They're angry and they're mad. They don't understand. Right? Why every move they make, things are getting worse. They don't have no control over what's going on, man. They want you to think that. So now he's going to resort to what? His blessing. That's his last you know, his last line of defense. Right? His media, his witchcraft is being exposed daily. So now what? He's just going to feel like, man, listen, let's just blow up the place. And that's going to be the Lord, man. Psalms 10 and 5 again. His ways are always grievous, right? The whole world is seeing how grievous his ways are now, man. Even his own people. It says, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. For all his enemies, he puffeth at them, man. He's proud against anybody that comes up against him because what? He's a great America, right? Babylon the Great. America, the greatest country in the world with the most powerful government and the most powerful military in the world, man. Who dares to come up against America? Right? But you got your own people, you know, against you in this country. America is falling on the inside and the outside, man. Right? Nobody wants to deal with them. Nobody wants to deal with the whore. Right? She's polluted. And even in this country, everybody wants to lead the whore, man. So this place is through, man. I got one more. We're going to shut it down.
Things, but I think, you know what? I don't vote for the man. I vote for the policy. No tax on tips. No one's perfect. Praise Jesus. You have no morality. And you just want white America. Until we deal with this problem, nothing will change. And the reason it hasn't is because people that look like me are still right now hiding behind your privilege. And last week, you saw those people, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, your friends, your high school people that you don't talk to, they scurried out like a bunch of fucking cockroaches. Oh, Charlie Kirk, podcaster. Nothing, not a goddamn thing about anything else that this guy's done. Not the rape, not the insurrection, not the felonies, not asking for black people to be executed in New York, not the white supremacy, not insulting women, calling them ugly, not a goddamn thing. But the white podcaster, somehow, that's a bridge too far, and I'm just going to have to correct you. That is why we're here. They were fine with everybody else getting treated like crap. But until something touched their white privilege, then they cared. They're not Christians. They're not people of faith. They're modern day Pharisees. They are the remnants of the lost cause. And that point in time is where we failed as a country. Robert E. Lee was a piece of shit slave owner. May he rot in hell. But to them, the lost cause, it was about states' rights. No, it wasn't. Mississippi said, we want to keep slavery because the black man, in their words, the Negro, are the only people that can work in the tropical sun. And it will be detrimental to the commerce of the states if it's done. So basically, their stance was God made black people to serve the white man. Does that sound like a states' rights issue? Does it? But instead of accepting it, you guys lied to yourself. And then once again, 2020, oh no, it was rigged. Did you see Martin Luther King go to violence? Rosa Parks, John Lewis? But the white man lost an election and they believed the lie, so they get away with beating officers with American flagpoles. They're patriots, but if you kneel before a flag peacefully, you're a son of a bitch. Funny how that works. Make America white again. Until we deal with this, we will never get out of this. And if it has to burn to the ground, then so be it. Because this is why we're here. This is the only reason we're here. And if you want to go back to the economics part, that's cool. But go look at the Hurricane Katrina documentary. You know what happened? Certain parts, when they were rebuilt after the flooding, they were primarily black. You know what happened? The white man raised the rent by 2 and 3 times. What do you think happened to those black communities? Oh yeah, I'll let you know. Spoiler alert, it turned to a white community. Why? Because they didn't want to pay black people a fair wage. So when you say, I don't have privilege, fuck off. Have you had to give a talk to your kid? Have you had your house redlined? Was your house valued more? Were you called the N-word? Did you have to give your kid the talk? Then fuck off with your white privilege. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't have privilege. It means that you're treated differently than everybody else. That's what white privilege is. And you can shove it up your ass. Have a white day.
And there it is, man. Let's get this last one. This is Mark chapter 3, verse 24. It says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against himself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And this is the end of Esau Edom's kingdom, man. These devils are more divided than ever, right? And soon these devils are going to turn on each other, man. You've been hearing about all black on black crime and, the niggas kill the niggas. Well, it's about to be heavy white on white crime, so-called white on white crime. right? Hey, man, I'm gonna leave it there. We living in beautiful times, man. This devil is out. He's on his way out. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rakakadash for blessing me with the spirit to do this lesson. To the next lesson, Shalom.